People know about Miami, New York, London, but how much do you know about Marbella? And I think I have a couple of two interesting points to share, or maybe a lot more, because I lived there 13 years, and what is so special about Marbella? It's the Marbella way. What is the Marbella way?
Yeah, I don't know how we can boil down 13 years of our lives to 3 words, but we call it the Marbella way. And so we're talking about a village on the south coast of Spain, and it's just about 140,000 inhabitants, right? So it's kind of a small place, but with 140 nationalities. So it's one of the most cosmopolitan international villages in the world, if not the most. So what's so interesting about it, and why did we stay for so long?
I don't know, because what is special is about Marbella is when you are there, it's getting very, very comfortable. Life is good, the sun is shining everywhere, and there's endless amount of opportunities there just to have a good life. Yeah. You can go party, beach walking, skiing, and if you only want that, there is also so many other things to do.
It's all about the lifestyle. Most people living in the north of Europe and east of Europe, they want to come to Marbella. This is where you can have the sunny lifestyle. We call it the California of Europe. Anything you want. The proximity is amazing. You can ski, you can surf, you can play polo, tennis, whatever you want. It's all outdoors because we have 300 to 320 days of sun per year. So it's the most sunny place, and it's the best climate in Europe, and one of the best microclimates actually in the world. So it has many similarities, funny enough, to California, Los Angeles, apart from the fact that, of course, the city is much smaller.
Yeah.
But it has city aspects.
And it's like when you wake up in the morning, you're like, hey, let's go and conquer this place. And you end up in like going to a party, and 10 hours later, you're sitting there sipping at a little cocktail at like either pool or at the beachside, and you're thinking, okay, I didn't work today, but let's try it tomorrow. And then this, like the same thing happened tomorrow again. So it's like a place where you can be like totally sucked into a world where life just happening in front of your nose, and you forget about work.
But I would say that lifestyle is mainly for the women. And why is that? Because the men are working more or less all over Europe and on different continents all the time. And then the women are located in Marbella, and they have a great life there. They can have white wine, and champagne with their friends.
So busy with
coffees. They have a lot of time, right?
And with shopping, we're very busy with shopping. Like shopping with the nails, with our hairs getting done. And if the nannies is late, it's a big world problem, you know. So it's a lot of.
So what choices do you have? It's like, should I do yoga today, or should it be a champagne party, or and then you have the endless kids parties. There's a kids party every single day.
Kids parties
if
are
you were
wedding
gonna attend all those kids parties, some of them are huge. You have whatever from Dom Perignon champagne to balloons to everything. It's just like people don't do anything else than party.
But you remember that once we was invited to a birthday party, and it was like we're totally newbies from Copenhagen, like
from the cold north.
Like in Denmark, we're just having like a little.
And it's fair to say that there's a certain difference between the north and the south of Europe in terms of lifestyle.
Hey, just to get back for like the birthday party. So in Denmark, we used to have a little bread roll with a flag in, and then it's like a happy birthday, and you have hot chocolate with whipped cream, and you go to Marbella, and with Danish mentality, you're in a wedding, and suddenly like with Russians, and I remember once we were invited to the birthday, and all this big golf course was closed, and we had oyster, champagne, Dom Perignon, and caviar, and it was a 3-year-old birthday. Yeah. I
remember you talked about it. I wasn't actually at that particular.
But later on at that time, it's like, okay, now it's time, because Russians are usually very closed, and they're not very open-minded to speak with other nationalities. And I'm like, hey, and they're like, yeah, what are you doing? So in the end of that party, it's like the men and the women start wearing a diaper and have like adult games, and you're sitting there, what is this? It's just so different.
But I remember there was another. Actually, funny enough, Russian birthday at a tennis club in Elvidia, if you remember that, just east of Marbella. and everybody was very quiet. And then within an hour, all the wine and everything else. So we were just, now it was just like, now it's maybe a little bit too much. You know, they didn't. It's like one big family, but it's fun because that's what is amazing about Marbella. That you not everybody is the same. Everybody comes from different cultures. We've sat at birthdays where we have 8, 9 languages spoken over the table. So it's not like everybody adapts to English, because we're not even in England or in the US or whatever. We're in Spain, and people, if you speak Spanish to the Spanish people there, they speak English to you. Yeah. So English is kind of the main language. But again, everybody, Swedish have Swedish friends, Danish have Danish friends. So it's just like everybody speaks their own language as well.
Yeah, and it's a big melting pot. So it's so many different nationalities.
I don't know a more authentic place in the world to experience different cultures in one place, and very, very nearby, because it's a pretty small place still.
Yeah.
And then you have the other option that you can always go Spanish and Andalusian as well, if you want that, you know, the small white villages, the Spanish tapas and the coffees for €1. You know, you have the lifestyle that the Spanish people live there. You know,
and you can have a very, very good lifestyle in Marbella, no matter how much money you have.
Yeah,
yeah,
that's the point. You can go to a breakfast in San Pedro de Alcántara, just outside Marbella, spend €20 for a whole family breakfast, and you can also spend the 10 double if you go to Marbella Club. Yeah. So it's just, you have the choices.
You have affordable luxury, and you also have the totally lavish lifestyle there.
You can and you can mix it however you want. If you only want the authentic Spanish life, you can have that. You can even have a finca if you want, and you can grow your own wine or whatever you want. But if you want the more kind of international jet set life, you can go to the beach clubs, and yeah, it's a completely different vibe.
So talking about Marbella,
you meet people from all over the world.
If you don't know Marbella and people have never been to Marbella before, it's like, how do you describe it? What is so special about Marbella? Because I've reflected on that many times.
I think it's a good idea to look a little bit at history. So in the 1950s, there was a German aristocrat called Alfonso Hohenlohe. He came down in his old Rolls Royce to the Spanish coast. And at that time, it was just a fisherman village. And we had literally, I can't say we because I wasn't born, but there were donkeys in the street. Donkeys in the street. And so that's when he came, and he saw this is going to be a paradise. So him and his family started buying land there. That he converted into the Marbella Club. It's known to be where Sean Connery, where Roger Moore and Sophia Loren, all kinds of celebrities came for decades and enjoyed life. So that's what that was. It became a refuge from the 60s, 70s and onwards, where people could just go and relax.
But it's definitely short at that time, because a lot of people talk about Marbella Club Hotel because it's the iconic landmark of Marbella. And it's where all the Hollywood stars at that time, with the golden era in Hollywood, come to Marbella to retreat, you know, come to enjoy the sunshine, come to enjoy the beach, and there was no paparazzis because it was a small
absolutely iconic place, and it's founded and created based on enjoying life, and it's not complicated. Everybody meets everybody.
It can be super complicated.
Everything can become complicated.
Because there's so many nationalities.
Yeah.
So it's not like, you know, you really have to, there's so many different nationalities. So in the end, you just have to find out, okay, wow.
But that's from the perspective that you lived there for many years. But if you think about what it is, it's just simple living on the beach. And so they have their beach resort, the Marbella Club, which is the equivalent to Beverly Hills Hotel in Los Angeles, Beverly Hills. But the thing is, then they have their ski resort. It's literally less than 2 hours in Sierra Nevada, where you can ski overlooking the Mediterranean.
Which, by the way,
highest mountains in the south of Europe.
It's owned by Marbella Club as well.
They own their own ski resort up there called El Lodge.
Yeah.
And the fact that you know, I think it's pretty cool that in one day you can drive up there 7 o'clock in the morning and you can enjoy whatever you want at El Lodge, go skiing, and then you can come down and go on the beach in the afternoon.
And
I don't know any other place where you can do that.
We tested that out before.
We have done that before.
We had lunch, or maybe early lunch, at the beach in Marbella, and then we drove to Sierra Nevada, you know, skiing up there.
We should probably mention that a couple of years ago we were in a TV series, lifestyle and real estate TV series. It's called Son for Millions. but it was Danish, so it was only dedicated to Scandinavians. It's on the Dplay platform, dplay.com. So anyway, so we were in that 8 episodes, and it's the biggest TV series ever made about the lifestyle in the south of Spain. And it was amazing to be part of it, because what inspired us was that we got to show aspects of the place that people don't know. So the Danish mindset would be, we go to the south of Spain to get a cocktail on the beach and enjoy the sun. That's traditionally why you would go from the north to the south, just to enjoy the sun. But then what we wanted to do is we wanted to show what else you can do. And people didn't know that. People didn't even know you can ski there. And you can play polo. We have Little Argentina towards the west, and Soto Grande, where we have numerous polo clubs, some of the best ones in Europe. So all those things people don't know. And we got to show them. There's no
shadow of a doubt that if you talk about Marbella in Europe, a lot of people have different opinions about Marbella. You know, it's party, it's come to people, it's like fashion, luxury, big, beautiful villas, luxury villas. We have one of the most prestigious urbanizations in the world, La Sagaleta.
Yeah. It is.
So you have a lot of labels in Marbella.
Where you have, you can land in a helicopter. You have, several, let's say, people, significant people have their house there. What's fun about La Sagaleta is it's normally empty. A lot of people don't even use their houses. It's second or third or fourth or whatever homes. So people sometimes actually get bored up there. But having said that, it's such a beautiful area where you have deer running around in the streets. I remember when we visited a friend up there, and our kids were watching. There was about 10 or 15 deer in front of the car. We couldn't get through the roads. So, and you have the best views. It's completely amazing. It's like country lifestyle, but only 15 minutes from Marbella, from the coast.
Yeah, and it's also gated communities. So you even have, you have the equestrian center up as well. You have the clubhouse, and you have even the restaurant only for you if you live there.
Yeah.
So it's quite an iconic place in Marbella. And then we have Sierra Blanca, which is also quite prestigious urbanization as well.
Sierra Blanca, one of the great areas, that's right, residential areas in Marbella. Also a bit elevated, overlooking the Mediterranean. That's an amazing, there are quite a few amazing neighborhoods. We have, we can mention many. We have Guadalmina Baja as well, where we actually lived when we came to Spain in 2011 permanently, which is an amazing, it's totally quiet, and it's just on the beach, and it's very central.
But what is quite funny about that, thinking about that, we only had one child at that time. We moved into like a 1,400 square feet. No, square meters, like square feet, square meters.
It was totally over, let's say,
12-bedroom villa.
Doing it.
Yeah, 12-bedroom villa. We have like staff outside. We have even a cleaning lady and 2 gardeners, people working for us, and we had one child.
That was one thing we wanted to experience, because the cultural background we have in Denmark, in the north, we have a so-called completely different model in society. People don't have staff. People don't live as in the old days. And it's something that is just not there. Everybody is more or less equal in Denmark. And it's something that it makes sense in a certain way, but it also makes life quite boring that everybody has to be equal. The great thing about life is that we should be different. And everybody should stand out in their own way. And that was fun, and that was one thing that attracted us to the south of Spain, is that it's a traditional place. You have 3 generations in the street, the old folks playing chess with an espresso while their grandkids are playing next to them. It's beautiful how they kept the organic, the traditional culture, and that I know is definitely something. It attracted us, but it attracts a lot of people, that you have that too. It's just, it gives it so much character and authenticity, and it's just it's literally
What is so great about Marbella is that you can totally be yourself. You go out, whatever dress or whatever outfit you want. You can go out in the most wildest ball gown, or you can go out in a tracksuit, or you can go out in a bikini, because people sometimes in the summer go in the supermarket in a bikini because so many people coming from around the world. So
the Spanish authorities even had to make rules in Puerto Banús, which is the most famous harbor in Marbella.
Don't go in the supermarket
because especially the British people, they were walking around in bikinis in the streets, so they had to tell people to put some clothes on. So it's you can dress
have a
exactly as you want
when you go in, like, don't wear your bikini.
And the funny thing about it is, the paradox about it is that the south of Spain, especially Andalusia, it's actually a rural area, and they are very old-fashioned. They are very conservative in many ways, but the people coming from the north, they don't even care, because they come to have fun, and the sun is shining, so everything is great. So they don't care if they don't follow the let's say the local rules. So the police actually had to tell them to put on some clothes.
What do you think about the most like amazing place about Marbella, like in Marbella, the most amazing
It's such
place
an
in Marbella?
extremely, I mean, it's impossible to mention, but one place, because the thing about Marbella is it's just a whole library of places, and every single place is magical, and it's like everything from sitting in front of the chimney at Villa Padierna in December, which is, it used to be Ritz-Carlton. It's a little bit outside of Marbella, and some people don't even know it.
Yeah.
But it's known internationally for its golf facilities and so on. Sit there in front of the chimney in December, where we are used to cold weather in the north, so we have this cozy atmosphere. It's one example. Then, of course, you have Marbella Club is something that definitely has to be mentioned, because that is the, let's say, it's the most important and iconic place in the modern Marbella. Modern meaning after the 50s. Before the 50s, it was a small village. After the 50s, it became this cosmopolitan, vibrant hotspot.
Yes. But it's still very old-fashioned.
It's completely old-fashioned.
Yeah.
Everything is old-fashioned there, but it's totally made with style.
But old-fashioned, it like very, very traditional etiquette, and also in the line of the etiquette.
And I would have to mention the champagne room, which is called Rudy's. Rudy's bar is probably
almost
our favorite room. If we had to choose a favorite room, it would probably be it. Yeah. But you remember last time we were there was a lady. She is probably 80 years old. And she's so fresh. She's dancing all the time, and she's speaking with people.
I had very fun dancing.
She's like going down in her knees, like people in their 20s can't even do it without getting a knee injury. But she's amazing. She's like a Duracell battery. She doesn't stop.
And did you know that?
And you danced with her.
Yes.
I recorded that.
And did you know she had a table every Friday there with a bottle of champagne, 2 glasses, and then they have always the dinner in the restaurant they have, and after dinner, they transfer to the champagne room with her husband, and they sit there every single Friday for the last 15 years.
And she speaks with everybody, and she encourages people to dance.
Yeah.
So she's so sweet, and
she's the icebreaker.
It's just like she's an icebreaker, bigger. And then you have amazing live music in the background, and we're just talking about a pretty small room, but it's so stylishly made. It's like you're so comfortable there.
When you sing and talking
about
it, I feel like I want to go there right now.
Yeah. So of course you have to mention
place.
Marbella Club. So then you have its sister hotel is called Puente Romano. It's a huge success. It's actually owned by the sister owns Marbella Club, the brother owns Puente Romano, and they have 2 different philosophies. Puente Romano is more for a younger crowd. Yeah. So they have a huge selection of top restaurants and
Nobu,
club venues.
Cipriani.
Yeah. And that's where you go if you like, some kind of life is a party. That vibe 24/7.
It's like a place where you go if you're super confused where you should go. It's like, okay, you want this, I want this, he wants this.
You can get everything in one place.
There you have just have a party.
The tennis courts where Djokovic and Federer and Boris Becker used to, when he was active, play. And everything is informal. So you just, no press, no journalists, just everybody's walking around like... it's very easyggoing. So that's a place where you can do everything.
And what is important to mention is that the Nobu Hotel just opened there.
Yeah, exactly. And that's just literally in the same buildings as Puente Romano. So they have 2 different philosophies. Marbella Club, run by the sister, is the traditional place, and she doesn't want to change it. There's few changes. They did refurbish recently the bar area, and it's really nice. They have a patio that they refurbished as well, but otherwise they just keep it as it was. And both places have the most beautiful gardens. They really natural gardens. It's like the green fills the whole space. And talking about that, our good friend Matthias's dad founded all that, from an architectural point of view, created the gardens. And his whole philosophy is a very, very famous architect in Spain, top 3 the last 100 years. And he built about 80 urbanizations on the coast, and several books have been written about it. It's called Melvin Villarroel. And so his concept is we start with creating a natural space, and then we make a house, a building fit into that, not the other way around. So that just makes the whole place so organic, and you feel like you're in nature all the time.
Right.
Yeah, and that's absolutely magical. So that is part of the DNA of Marbella. But yeah, this is like, yeah, the, what can you say, more high-end side of Marbella on the Golden Mile. But apart from that, talking about great places in Marbella.
But it's not only a place for adults, because you also have kids clubs. There's a big scene for kids there as well.
Yeah.
It's definitely a place where you can go out with kids in the evening as well.
Yeah.
It's very normal, because in Europe, especially in Spain, people go out very late for dinner. We go out at start coming out at 8, maybe go home at 2. Yeah. And you even see kids in the restaurants in the night at 1 o'clock or 2 in the night, even if
they're very good
summer.
with kids in Spain. They are totally a part of the family, the culture, and they're welcome everywhere. So it is really a nice place to have, especially small kids. And it's definitely one reason why people come from all over the world, but especially all over Europe, out of the cities and into this area where it's very family friendly. And of course, it helps that the kids can run around outside all day long.
And it's very safe. Very safe
It's
place.
extremely safe.
Yeah.
And I remember when we had our kids for a few years in the kids club. And I remember there was, just as an example of what they were doing, they were obviously on the beach collecting shells. They did horse riding. They had eagles, wild birds coming 3 times a week. And I remember, when they were 4, they had an eagle on the arm. And they had an open kitchen, so they were cooking their own food every day. I remember Maximilian, he was in our son, he's 11 now. He was in this, he was the youngest participant in a Jamie Oliver International Food Contest, and they had to make a wrap. And I remember he had, his chef clothes on, and I think he was 4 years old when he did it. So yeah, it's very child friendly, and they also cultivate the gardens there, so they have small tomato plants and whatever that they water every day. So that whole concept, it was actually called, with a question mark, the best kids club in the world. In I think it was Herald Tribune, one of the big newspapers in the UK, and I think it definitely is one of the best. It's hard to say if it is the best, but it's definitely an amazing.
I think it was The Guardian, actually.
The Guardian.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's definitely an amazing kids club. It's it's a nice environment.
So you can both have the adult and the kids with you when you're in Marbella. There's always things to do.
And the funny thing about it, because we think about, now we are thinking approximately 10 years back. At that time, Marbella still had seasons in terms of holiday on and off. Yeah. But now it's more of a whole year season. So at that time, it was not busy at all in the winter period. So we had a permanent membership, so they could come there all year, because a lot of guests put their kids there. There were no other kids.
Right.
So they wanted to have permanent kids to fill out the space and create a good atmosphere. But now it's like it's more crowded now. You have more people now. So it's a different
There's definitely been a big change the last 4 years.
Yeah.
Before, none of the beach clubs were open.
It definitely took a complete turning, especially actually in this so-called post-pandemic era, because people really started to think about what they want to do with their lives. Do they want to have money in a bank account, or do they want to live in their dream house in the best climate and be in a nice place? So that just exploded the whole real estate market, and it's now the Four Seasons came, Dolce & Gabbana, Fendi, all these brands now have beach clubs. So it just went from this rural place, very raw, very authentic, to it's becoming a world famous hotspot now.
Definitely to be a more international scene as well.
But what I like about it, that even though it has changed and it is more kind of upscale or international, I like that it has it's still as it used to be. It has a huge part of it is still Spain. It's not totally taken over by foreigners. So
not completely, but
not complete.
almost.
Part of Marbella is 50-50 now. A lot of Spanish people would say that it has been taken over by foreigners.
That's for sure.
But outside Marbella, Spain still exists. Inside Marbella as well, but not as much, of course, as before.
So what do you think there is so special about Marbella? Because
I think, okay, so if we should take it from, let's say, what I feel when I land in the airport in Malaga, 20 million people visit a year. It's reaching the level of Madrid and Barcelona, the biggest cities in the country. But yeah, that's because people want to go to Costa del Sol, the south of Spain, to enjoy life. And it's just more and more every year. And it's Estepona, Benavís, Marbella is the triangle. They are the fastest growing villages / towns, cities in the country. So the feeling I have when I land in Malaga, every single time when you've been traveling, maybe something has been a bit stressful, or you've been in the north, the lifestyle is completely different. And people are not as relaxed. People are a bit less friendly as well, a bit less relaxed. When you land in Malaga, you just immediately relax. You just walk out of the airplane and there's a different vibe.
That's the danger of being there, because it's like life is a big party.
That's why we've learned that one thing you have to do. I strongly recommend that. Come in and out of the place. If you come in and out, it's an oasis. It's an amazing oasis.
Don't say that.
Every single time you come back, you appreciate it even more. But if you're there all the time, you start taking it for granted.
Yes.
And then it's like, oh, we should also have this and that. It's like, what, you have everything here. What is it that you need? You can
life
ski,
is just
you can
too
go
good.
to the beach.
Like,
life
forget
is
about
almost too good, and people get lazy as well if they stay for too long.
Of course. And we go in the morning in a restaurant, you just know that you're not there when they ask, what kind of cocktail do you want? I'm like, hey, it's 10 in the morning.
Yeah,
I'm trying to work.
I'm not on holiday, please. You have to say that every single day.
Don't come
and it's just like,
don't say that.
Welcome to Spain. It's like they think you just flew in. But yeah, but that's the thing. It is. But the amazing thing about it is obviously started as a tourist place. But the thing is, it's now a place where a lot of people live permanently. And it's like, it's the place to go in Europe especially. But the funny thing, talking about the demographics, it used to be so that 25% of the people who bought real estate on the Costa del Sol was from Great Britain, from the UK. But then they had Brexit and they kind of left Europe in some ways, and it became a little bit more complicated. So now they're down to 10 to 15%. And the Swedish group is almost that size today, which was not the case 10 years ago. So the whole demographics changed, new groups came, and Americans came in 22 and 23 more than ever to Spain.
And that's wonderful. Because we need that injection of positive vibes as well.
Yeah. Yeah, it was funny when we talked about it last time. We were in Benavís, this amazing kind of mountain village, landscape, very wonderful place where La Sagaleta you mentioned is there as well. And we just talked about this, that there are more Americans now.
Yeah.
You hear them. We never heard Americans before. We actually had American friends. They then left back to Georgia actually, but there were very few. And now it's just, you hear them in the supermarket, and one day we realized, it's just like, now they are there as well.
It makes me very happy.
And yeah. So of course it's completely different than, but it's different for us as well as Danish people, and there's a lot of things to. It's a different administrative process, everything. But if you have good help, whatever it is, lawyer friends, then you will. It's actually made quite easy.
And
because a lot of people.
I think it's very important to say as well that the best private hospitals is there. If you get sick, it's a very good place. You're in safe hands to be in Spain. And the insurance as well is only, I think we have 5 people pay like $200 per month, and it's unlimited. You can just go. Everything is paid for.
Yeah.
You don't, if you have an accident or something happening to you, go in there, you can stay there like 1 week. And it's already in your insurance policy. That's the biggest difference.
And if you want a so-called, I never got one, but I know you got one. You felt you had something. You wanted an MR scan, right?
I always have something
a little bit.
in my head, right?
Sometimes you think so. You'd prefer to double check. I don't need any check.
And this is like men. It's like a man thing.
Yeah.
Men they will only go if they're about to die. You know? It's too late, you know.
Probably.
But
if I'm dragged into a hospital because I can't walk, I'll have to get in there. Otherwise, I don't care about hospitals.
No.
But I remember you got this MR scan, and in Denmark you literally can't get an MR scan. If you get an MR scan, it's going to take you 6 to 12 months.
And you have to convince that
you may not even get it, and you have to spend like weeks convincing
you
that
also
you're
have to put on your best
it's
acting
really a
skills.
serious
Like,
condition.
I'm so sick that I need it.
And you
Maybe
just like you just
please.
ask at the reception, and then can I just have an MR scan?
Yeah,
as well?
like,
yeah, of course.
Yeah, we'll set it down this afternoon.
You want it now, or
yes.
Yeah,
like yes. And then you know that you're not sick. You know, that's amazing.
And what is the reason for that? Actually, funny enough, the insurance sector in Spain is very, very strong.
It's awesome.
We have, for example, Generali is one of the biggest companies in the world. So actually, the private insurances in Spain are some of the best in the world.
You can just go there.
I don't know exactly why.
You can go there.
That's how it is.
You can go there and be sick. You're in safe hands.
You don't have to be afraid if you get sick, because there's pretty good places to go if you get sick.
You don't have to be afraid of like some fancy girl stab you with a high heel in your bare feet.
But now we talk about this whole aspect, and we start talking about health as well. That definitely it's a very healthy place to go. Of course, some people can decide to party every single day, and then they decide themselves. But why is it so healthy? It's obviously the sun, the ocean. It's very clean, the air, and the food is fresh. It's from the countryside.
Of course, it's the Mediterranean diet out there.
The Mediterranean diet, and you have, now you have all these places like IO, which is the place where we go to train. To me, it's the best place to train in the world. It's like world class.
Yeah.
The guy who owns it, obviously Swedish entrepreneurs are just amazing.
They're just one step ahead.
Unfortunately, better than Danish, but we have a good love-hate relationship.
Yes.
So we try to kind of get along, right? But they're impressive. So this guy created a worldwide fitness chain, and this one is the flagship, and is of course placed in Marbella, in San Pedro actually. And they just have it's just
a 5-star hotel.
It doesn't get better
in a fitness environment.
So you have and you have the
and you can get a glass of champagne after you finish your.
There's this good restaurant called Breathe, which is just in the same place. So
which is called Soul actually there.
It's called Soul, yeah, but it's owned by Breathe. That's right. So it's a place where you can eat and drink very well. They even have I don't know any other fitness center where you can actually go to the bar and have a champagne.
No.
I don't know if it exists.
I don't know.
Because obviously every single place they have protein shakes.
Some people
you can have that as well.
Maybe they can
but
give some
you can
feedback.
decide. You can decide yourself what you want. Yeah. And it's like, does that fit into a fitness environment? I don't know. You don't have to go in there. You can just stay out.
It's a great place to be.
Or you can take
where have you been? I've been to the gym.
So I'm not going to get offended if somebody after a paddle tennis match they have a small beer.
But you can also use it as a good excuse. It's like, where have you been?
Fresh.
I've just been to the gym. Then you can always cover it up. Like if you have drank lots of champagne, it's like I've just been to the gym.
But that's the good thing. A lot of people they show up sometimes in the fitness outfit. And they literally just sit there and drink champagne, right?
It's a good cover-up.
Oh, did you work out today?
Yes.
Not
some
yet.
kind of
Not yet.
Been there.
But I'm on the way.
In the environment.
I'm on the way. I'm just enjoying.
I watched someone play paddle.
The way to the paddle tennis court.
Yeah. So
paddle tennis is a huge thing, by the way. It comes from Spain. Paddle tennis. It's a very, very social sport, and it's just spreading all over Europe. You have paddle centers all over Sweden, Norway, Denmark, and it's just because it's a really, really fun game. It's very social, so it's extremely popular, and at the IO where we like to come, where they have yoga, high intensity training, they have of course amazing fitness center.
They have an oxygen spa as well.
Oxygen spa, oxygen. One of the first one in the world actually, produced in Poland. Oxygen spa, you go in for 2 hours. It's like sitting on first class in an airplane.
You can sit on the first class like that.
There's two sections.
VIP room,
And then you get, they put 3 different elements into the air. So one is obviously more than twice as much oxygen. And there's 2 other, more hydrogen, and there's a 3rd element, I forgot.
You almost sound like you're a specialist in that area.
Yeah, but I think we were kind of educated because we filmed them once.
I just forgot about it.
So we had to hear the whole story, and we went in there with kids, and it's like a submarine. It looks like a submarine, and it's very comfortable. You can get a cup of coffee, you can meditate, you can work, but you have to do it consistently. If you do it consistently, like cryotherapy, if you do it consistently, it's extremely healthy.
It is.
People will be cured for all kinds of diseases in there. So it's a very innovative environment, and who knows, maybe it will reach. I'm sure it will reach other countries in the world. Yeah. Then what else would you like to highlight from Marbella today?
I don't know. There are so many things to highlight, so I have no idea where to start.
But you only spent 13 years there, so I don't know if you.
It's like the things like point out one thing I cannot. It's like when you go to a
How many
restaurant.
days is that? 13 years is like.
Pick one thing from the card, and there's like 30 different menus, 30 different options.
Okay.
You know.
So if we
I get so confused. It's like
if we cut into a section, like what section are we going to talk about right now? Is it health? Is it mountain trekking? Is it kids? Is it what is it? You decide.
I don't like to decide. Only some different kind of situations.
Okay, so then tell me, just like from a very simple point of view, what do you like most about the place?
That is very, very easygoing. You go out in the morning, the sun is shining, it's always shining. There is just big opportunities there just to enjoy your life.
Yeah.
Everything is possible there.
Yeah.
In terms of having a good life.
But it's the California of
and
Europe.
People are so spontaneous. It's like, oh, we meet after school, let's do this and this. Like, in Denmark, everything is in a box. It's like, oh, you have to book a half hour, like half.
Plan 3 weeks ahead.
Year.
And then you may not be in the mood to meet those people.
I'm the half-hour person, but half a year ahead in Denmark. It's like, oh, we can't because we already booked out. Like, booked out in
and we put our kids to sleep at 7 o'clock, and we have to shop some rye bread or something. So but in Spain,
everything is possible.
There are no limits.
People are so spontaneous. That's what I like about it. Like, oh, come over. Yes. Oh, should we go this night? Hey, yeah. You want to go to this party? Hey, that's opening. Oh, let's go. Yay. Hey. And
it's a very social place.
We take care of kids. Oh, the kids can be. The kids, we can just park them there, and we have a great time. And
everything's
the kids can
possible.
Just
But having said that, the great thing as well is that you can be as social as you want. If you want to be social,
that's my kind of.
Maybe not 24/7, but almost 24/7. You can.
Because it's
if you don't want to be social, you can go alone in the mountains. You can do things. You can go for silence, go for retreats, yoga, whatever. You can go alone and have your journey there. But if you want to be social, you can be as social as you want.
And what time do we used to go out in the night for dinner?
The latest we were invited for dinner was 11 o'clock. 11 o'clock. We arrived 10:30. And I remember the main course came 11:30. And then I remember when we were in the middle of the main course, it was I suddenly felt tired. And then I looked at the watch, and it was 12:30. It was like after midnight. So now I understand why. But and the reason for that is that, first of all, the traditional Spanish people they invited that night, they have a siesta, so they relax for a couple of hours during the day. The reason for that, of course, is it's so hot during the day. So they need to, when it's warmest outside in the summer, they relax inside during the afternoon, and then they're obviously totally fresh at night. And then it's not warm anymore, it's cool. It's cooling down. So it's very pleasant actually to sit outside and have dinner at 11:30 at night.
It is always after your dinner, you never go home. It's like, oh, where should we go? Should we go this place or this place? So you never go home.
That I would say, if we talk about differences to US, we're now here in Los Angeles, and we have kind of different opening hours in Europe. If you want, it depends on how long do you want to stay up. If you want to stay up till 7 in the morning, you go to Olivier Valère, for example, right? Mm-hmm. It closes when you leave.
I think it open around 1 or 12.
Yeah. You arrive, normally you would arrive around 1:30.
And if you have dinner,
and then you stay
arrive at around 10 something?
Yeah. And then you stay, as long as you want.
Yeah. Dangerous. It's like the European version of Vegas, right?
And that's where when Paris Hilton, who's a local here, when she comes to DJ, that's where she DJs, right?
That's right.
So
she's a very good DJ, by the way.
Yeah. So
she looked good as well.
That's a pretty good. We cannot talk about the nightclub scene without mentioning the Mosh Group. They are the most. They're very innovative. They are locals and very successful. They work with Danny Garcia as well, 3-star Michelin chef that you interviewed recently, and a very famous guy in Spain. He has amazing restaurants now in New York and Dubai as well. Is becoming.
Hey, we cannot spill it all over in one episode.
No, that's right. But the thing is, this is just an introduction.
Yes.
So we're just totally like talking about everything, and then we can start going more into detail next time. But the Mosh Group, I just have to mention that they have just the most amazing venues. Everything, and I remember downtown. We went with our friends last time. You go to downtown. It's a new place,
it's awesome.
and you have
fabulous.
very good Japanese food. And then you have Spanish flamenco, Andalusian flamenco at the same time. So the way that they mix things, so you have something completely traditional and passionate locally, like flamenco and music, and then amazing Japanese food, high tables and nice drinks, nice wine. It's
definitely out of the box.
Yeah, and that's just one place, and they have several other places. So what they do,
they all have a kind of niche.
The most successful place, what they do is they combine dining and going out. So, that's what they do. So they have a specialty.
And they're very good at it.
Special cuisine, and then they have a certain vibe that they shift over around 11, 12. It becomes a nightclub.
That's fun.
Yeah, that's what they do, and they do it really, really well.
So there's endless fun in Marbella.
Yeah,
and that's the Marbella.
And that's why people
like endless
you name
fun.
it. You can't even mention all the names, but all the football players, they go there from Europe, and they know all of them know Marbella. It's because it is a fun and relaxed place to be. It's absolutely a winner, no doubt about it. Then you can decide if you're going to live there or not. That's another thing, because maybe you're going to miss the city, the big city, like whatever it is, New York, Los Angeles, Copenhagen, London. Those cities, of course, have something that you don't have in Marbella. And we actually miss that sometimes, because the grass is always greener on the other side.
Yeah.
But if you just want to visit the place, it's a winner.
But one thing
it's amazing.
There is for sure, that you have to visit Marbella to understand the Marbella way. What makes this place so special.
The atmosphere is something you can't describe. It's like it's in the air. It's the sunrises, the sunsets. There's a very golden light, and there's this signature mountain called La Concha that you can see from everywhere in Marbella. It's a very beautiful country, and we went there almost hundreds of times with the kids behind the La Concha. One of the stories we know from our friend there who grew up in Marbella, that dinosaurs used to live there. They have quite a lot of scientific findings, dinosaur findings there. And then you have a pine tree forest, which we are used to in Denmark, but it's not normal on Costa del Sol. One of the reasons they say is because they built ships back in the days, and they took down all the pine trees. When they built ships, and the Spaniards started to go out and see the world, discover the world, including Los Angeles, by the way. So so there's a pine tree forest with a microclimate just behind La Concha, and it's a bit cooler, and it's very, very, very beautiful. It's a natural reserve, so that's why. And then a little bit further up, you have the snow. But it's just to say, we have the beach, we have the mountains, we have the little Argentina where you can go and ride your horses and play polo. We have the international lifestyle, the Spanish lifestyle. I think it's pretty much like a good cocktail to enjoy life in. It's you have quite a few treats waiting for you. That's for sure.
That's for sure.
Yeah. Thank you for listening to this first podcast about Marbella. As far as I know, no podcast was actually made, and we thought, since we are experts, and I mean, you can't say you're expert in everything, but within this subject, I have to say we are experts. I don't know if there's something we don't know.
I don't know either.
I'm sure there must be something we don't know about Marbella.
We'll find out.
But I don't know what it is, because I think we know more or less everything.
I think so.
Yeah. This was just an introduction to knowing everything about Marbella.
The Marbella way.
The Marbella way,
yes.
Yeah. So, cheers. And I look forward to some more episodes about Marbella.
And for more people from the US come to Marbella.
Because it's all about people, places, culture, nature. Getting out there, online is great, but to get out there, meet people, be in the environment, get the experience yourself is amazing. And that's what Marbella will give you. It will give you real experiences for yourself, your friends, your family. You will never forget those experiences.
And what we always say,
we
Marbella,
won't forget, that's for sure.
chin chin.
Cheers. See you soon in Marbella, by the way.